up, everybody? Keith Jameson, Good Back Guy 231 across the DFS industry. We've reached the week of the last group stages of Champions League. So today's preview is going to be a little bit different than normal. Really not going to, I don't even know the pricing. Pricing on this slate, to me, I'll take comments to say if it's wrong, but pricing doesn't matter because there's going to be so much rotation, because there's so many teams without anything to play for that we really just need to focus on the situations and understanding what each team is going for, and then plug in the value, plug in what makes sense as it comes up. So kind of go over the spots that the teams aren't playing for anything, maybe who are some guys that could pop up, and then in the teams that are playing for a lot, you know, what how to handle those things. So quick reminder: like, subscribe, comment. Let's start in Group. That's where I hate my writing. Group D. Tottenham going to Marseille. Tottenham's plus 130. Frankfurt going to Sporting. Sporting is plus 130. So very, very close games. Every single team is live. And I guess I should have done this at the beginning. First two in the group go on to the next League of Champions League. Huge, huge money. Third place goes to Europa League. Less money, but still money. Fourth goes home. No money. So, especially these smaller clubs, like even going to Europa, even like Barcelona, who's already gone to is going to Europa, it's a lot better than zero. You got a lot of bills to pay. You got some transfers to make in January. So, third place is a big deal. So everybody in this group is live for everything. So let's just start with Tottenham. Son is a lock. We saw him just go absolute bananas this weekend. I think it was something like 24, 25 floor points at Bournemouth. Per usual, if Perisic is in, Perisic hurts him a little bit because he can steal some set pieces. But I'm on a slate where there's going to be a lot of teams not playing for anything. Son is like my first click. I don't even know what his price is. It doesn't matter because that's just a lock for me. Marseille can be difficult to play against, but Tottenham is a superior team. So I think that is the route that I would want to go. Kane for GPP is fine. I don't think there's like a ton of goals here or anything, so I'm not like rushing to Kane. And then Perisic is fine too, depending on the build. Nobody else from Spurs. For Marseille, Spin Harit and Vertout have been splitting some sets. Jonathan Klaus is always live for sets. The way I see this game is I do think Conte is going to be very, very, very methodical to start the game out. Meaning just making sure he doesn't try like an early goal, and maybe just try to get them on a counter, and then make that push late to try to get a winner. Seems to be kind of Conte's MO in these type of big games. He's definitely not coming out like open. That's just not how that goes. And same deal on Marseille side. They're very deliberate too. So it's gonna be kind of like a stinker first half on these teams. So. And don't go like, despite like this game mattering a lot, I don't think that all of a sudden you're gonna rush and like you want to stack it up. Like, the games that matter a lot don't normally have the most goals. They're very, very tight and condensed with teams keeping their shape. So keep that in mind. Frankfurt going to Sporting. Sporting slight favorite. For Sporting, Marcus Edwards has kind of been, funny enough, like the player to have. It's always been. I know him as Pedro Goncalves. They have him listed as Pote on Draftkings. Those are the two best players. Pedro Porro, Nuno Santos. Oh my gosh, what's the name of the Barca guy that went to Wolves? Trincao, there you go. All of those are your plays, but I think it would be Edwards and Pote. We actually saw Nuno Santos take some corners, but I think that was because somebody was out, but just know all those are live. They're all fine. Frankfurt, it's just weird because Frankfurt from the Bundesliga should kind of be the superior team, but the odds like Sporting has not been as impressive this season in the Portuguese league as they have in past years in terms of domination. But they're still super talented. So again, though, this is a game that's going to be very tight. It's not going to be super open, even though Frankfurt scores a lot of goals. I think that it's going to be tight and compact. So there's no must-haves in this game for me, as long as pricing isn't screwed up. For Frankfurt, we're going to have to see lineups. Kamada's been back on sets. He wasn't on sets for a lot of the season. It was Lindstrom. Now it's Kamada. Christopher, or I don't know if it was Christopher. But anyhow, Linz, the left wing back, have been taking them, but he left injured either this game or the last one this weekend. And then Pellegrini can take 2. So sets are kind of a mess for Frankfurt. But yeah, those are the games that matter. Funny enough, those are the only games that matter at all. So we're going to jump to Group A. There's only one more game that has any implications, and that's Ajax going to Rangers. Ajax with the winner draw goes to 3rd place, which again, Ajax is, a bigger club in the smaller leagues, but that Europa money is still a big deal. They're minus 118. Rangers can go to Europa, even though they have a goal differential of 18, because it is a head-to-head type of thing. So if they beat Ajax 4-0 or better, they move on. So obviously it's a very, very, very low chance. Ajax is a good team. Rangers have just been overmatched the entire Champions League. But I think that you could play like Tavernier from Rangers. If they make a push early, they are at home. A lot of crosses in the box, a lot of attacking. I think Tavernier can make a lot of sense. So I kind of like him. And then depending on who they're playing at left back, Barisic, trying to remember the other name of the other left back that they played a little bit too. But typically whoever plays left backs will split sets with Tavernier. Tavernier is a superior player though, just gets forward a lot more and also takes PKs. So you could GPP stack Rangers here if you do think that they make a push. Just whoever their attacking talent, whoever they start up front, I think is very in play. For Ajax, it's kind of Tadic or bust. He's taking most of them. Actually, I'll say this. Steven Berghuis, not to be confused with Steven Bergwijn, but Steven Berghuis can split sets with Tadic. Tadic is still the superior DFS player, but either or, depending on the build, are fine. Again, it's just kind of not having to lose 4-0 to me kind of screams Ajax not like coming out super, super open and pushing like crazy. I could be wrong. I would think they play a little bit more pragmatically, let Rangers come out and attack them, and maybe score a goal on the counter when Rangers overcommits. Because you do know the one thing I will say about this game, in my head I can picture Rangers just coming out balls blazing. So that's kind of how I would see that. Okay, Napoli going Liverpool. This doesn't matter at all. Napoli's won the group. Liverpool is second. I would expect massive rotation for Liverpool, who has been incredibly injured this season. My guess would be that we see Milner at right back and that we see Tsimikas at left back. I love both of them. Milner will be midfield eligible and Tsimikas defender eligible. I almost think that both of them could be locks. They'll split sets. They'll get forward a ton. Liverpool's actually favored here. Napoli has nothing to play for either, so Napoli should rotate as well. That's kind of where I would leave the exposure. I won't want anybody for Napoli if they're fully rotating, just because I would think the talent level, Liverpool just like always surprising me in a negative way this year, but the talent level at Liverpool should be deeper. It is at Anfield. But yeah, Tsimikas, Milner, you could take a run on. I would actually guess like Darwin probably starts or something like that. Definitely Fabio Carvalho, those type of guys. But I don't necessarily know that Liverpool's going to score like 5 goals. I wouldn't expect anything like that from like a kind of rotated backup squad. Or if you did see a starter, I would expect them to check out early. But again, I really like those fullbacks. Those crosses and the sets are really nice. Nothing from Napoli that stands out. Final group C. There's nothing to play for. Everybody's done. It's going to be Barcelona. Inter and Bayern going to the Champions League. Barcelona. That game is minus 250 for Bayern. You'll see some rotation. Let's just see who plays. I can't imagine targeting any of the Barcelona. Don't know why I keep saying Barcelona. I can't imagine targeting the Bayern studs because they could all sub early. Like you could see them start their normal cast, but you could see like 3 or 4 of them going off at halftime, and that's just like it's a really tough situation to allocate resources to without the guarantee that they're going to stay in the game. So, yeah, it's just really hard for me to play Bayern pieces. Maybe you could see some of the youngsters in, but then depending on the Inter lineup, you know, how much do I want to target the Barcelona youngster? Or Barcelona, jeez Louise, I can't talk. The Bayern youngsters. So let's just see how that lineup shakes out. For Inter, they're not playing for anything. They're at Bayern, massive dog. I don't see playing anybody. Like, I always loved DeMarco, but like that wouldn't be the spot. Barcelona is going to Plazen. That should be a massive mismatch, regardless of who Barcelona starts. So let's just see that Barcelona lineup. I'm definitely going to be interested in some pieces. I would assume something like Rafinha, who's kind of fallen out of favor, starts. It would be just hysterical if Ansu Fati, who's been struggling with injuries, doesn't get starts, but that he starts this game. Probably happens, but like those two would like immediately jump out at me. This should be a huge talent mismatch. Barcelona's probably going to be one of my favorite spots. They're minus 400 on the slate, so I just want to see that lineup. But I'm like pretty sure Rafinha will start, and like he's kind of like a lock. I'm probably putting him on the cover of this. All right, so I'll do it. That's the 6 games. Again, you know, really focus on who's playing. Kind of like just know when you're going into it. Like if you see starters starting in games where there's just nothing to play for, like Bayern, like you see Kimmich starting, I would be very worried. Kimmich has the World Cup coming up. He's the most important player to their title push. I don't expect them to risk him much. So even if he plays, he could be off at 45 or 60. So I'm going to immediately downgrade those type of players. Focus on, you know, the non-crucial aspects of the team. And, you know, kind of maybe play those in the big spots like Barcelona or Bayern or Liverpool. And then filling them in with players from like Spurs, from Group D, or, you know, like a Barcelona type of thing. And go from there. All right, guys, that'll do it. Hope this helped. That'll say. See ya.